Hello parents and viewers. I am Dr. Lalit Mittal from Giggles Clinics and my own space. Now this video is about gut dysbiosis and its association with autism. We have seen and there has been a lot of discussion about gut dysbiosis, how it is associated with autism, about the gut-brain axis. So we'll try to explain some of the important factors which are responsible for autism and how gut dysbiosis is associated with it. So basically, coming to the fact first, what is gut dysbiosis? Now gut dysbiosis, in a very simplified language, it means that the ratio between the good and the bad bacteria get disturbed in the gut. Now there are a lot of different types of bacteria, millions and billions of bacteria which are present in the gut, not only in the gut but also in other parts of the body, even in the tongue, even in the mouth, every part of the body including the skin. So coming to the gut, what happens when this flora or the ratio of the good and the bad bacteria or other microbiotas, they get disturbed, this results in what is known as gut dysbiosis. Now what are the factors which are responsible for gut dysbiosis? Now there have been lot of factors which are responsible for gut dysbiosis, most commonly irrational use of antibiotics, there are frequent infections, and recent literature has even shown that these factors, they start right when the child is in the mother's womb. So the factors which are responsible for them, they may be high maternal fat diet during pregnancy, if the mother is not taking a good balanced diet, or if there is lack of iron deficiency in the mother during pregnancy, if she is not taking folic acids regularly. And another important thing, if there is a maternal stress, either in the form of environmental stress or if it is in the form of various other factors, like you can say infections or environmental stress, or it can be in the form of alcohol or smoking. So these are the various factors which are responsible for causing increased stress to the gut flora of the fetus when the child is there in the mother's womb, and in the offspring, in the future course, it may cause alteration of the gut bacteria in the child or in the offspring, and ultimately may increase the risk of autism in those child. Another important thing which has been known is that the risk of autism also increases those children who have been born with cesarean, or you can say LSCS, compared to those which have been born with normal deliveries. The reason why it is that, because when the child is inside the mother's womb, his gut flora or the flora of the gut, we can say, is very sterile, means non-infectious. It is totally non-infectious. And when the baby is born, either through a vaginal canal, that is through normal delivery, it gets exposed to the mother's flora, or sometimes the child may swallow the flora during the normal delivery. So that results in increasing the infectivity chances of the gut flora, thereby altering the gut flora. Whereas those children who are born with a cesarean section, in those cases the chances of alteration of the gut flora are very high. These are some of the recent literature and studies which have been come across for the gut dysbiosis. Frequent use of antibiotics. If the mother is taking lot of antibiotics during pregnancy, if there is lot of stress to the mother, either it can be environmental stress or maternal stress, or if she is taking lot of high fat diet. So these are the various factors which can in future course can result the alteration of the gut microbiota of the child, thereby increasing the risk of autism. Because we have seen most of the kids who have been on autism spectrum, they have been diagnosed only by the age of 2 years or 2.5 years, or the earliest by 18 months or so, because before that they don't have any features. They have the delivery is normal, or if it is cesarean, there are no birth complications, birth weight is fine, child is delivered healthy. So in spite of that the child develops into an autism by the age of 2 years, and it becomes a shock for the parents as well as for the caregivers. So these are some of the various factors, you can say ecological factors, environmental factors, which has been associated with autism. Along with that, other factors, some genetic factors. Now there are some, we have known that most of the autistic children, they have vitamin B12 problems, or you can say methylation problems. Now what happens in these autistic kids or neurodiverse kids, there is a mutation what we call as MTFHR mutation, that is methyl tetrahydrofolate reduction is an enzyme which is responsible for the methylation process or DNA methylation, and in that case B12 is involved. So in some percentage of the cases of autism, especially in Asian children, they have found that there is a defect in this MTHFR gene, as a result of which it is also prone for decreased absorption of vitamin B12 from the intestines, and that results in alteration of the gut bacteria, also what we call gut dysbiosis. So it is very commonly seen that the children who are on the spectrum, if the parents are going for a vitamin B12 levels in the blood, it will be normal. In spite of being a normal B12 levels, most of the children, they will be giving vitamin B12. The reason why this, it is only given in those cases where MTHFR deficiency or there is a mutation, and that can help in altering the absorption of vitamin B12 by giving vitamin B12, because the absorption is different. So these are the various factors for gut dysbiosis. Now, how this gut dysbiosis and brain axis is associated? Now, another important thing is that we know that the brain and the gut is connected through some axis which is known as gut-brain axis. It is connected through chemicals, it is connected through neurotransmitters and through nerves. Now, it is very interesting to know that there is another important nervous system which is present in the intestines. It is considered to be a small brain of our body, and that is known as enteric nervous system. And when the gut gets altered or gut dysbiosis occurs through these various factors which we have described, antibiotics, maternal factors and other, so what happens, the inflammatory or the pro-inflammatory factors which are responsible for causing swelling in the brain, they leak through the intestine and they reach the brain. And in the brain there are some specific receptors are there which are responsible for binding with these products, neurotransmitters, or you can say pro-inflammatory factors, and that causes the inflammation in the brain, thereby resulting in aggression, hyperactivity, humming, uncontrolled laughter. So means to say the core features of autism, they get exaggerated. So that is why now the main approach, more and more approach is being towards healing the gut. Gut healing has now become a primary source of treatment in autism because of the connection between the gut and the brain axis. So if our gut is healthy, the core features of autism may also be remain in a minimized state, because we have seen a lot of children, they have a lot of gut issues either in the form of constipation, diarrhea. But an important thing is that now the gut issues are not only related to constipation, diarrhea and bloating, they are in fact much beyond that. They may result in the form of aggression, hyperactivity, irritability, humming, uncontrolled laughter, or sleep disturbances. So these are the various things which can result as a result of alteration of the gut bacteria. So nowadays the approach is towards healing. So and also there have been various studies which have been found there are around approximately 11 to 12 bacteria which are considered to be live good bacteria, which has been found to be less in autistic guts compared to those who are neurotypical. Some of the examples of these are like Lactobacilli bifidobacterium, Lactobacilli reuteri, and a lot of studies have been done on this Lactobacilli reuteri, which has been found to be in a very low proportion in autistic guts compared to that of neurotypical children. So nowadays more and more approach is towards gut healing by giving them live bacteria, or you can say probiotics. So this was a short video about gut dysbiosis and how it affects autism and how it is associated through gut-brain axis. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you.